Before starting, it's like before starting things, I just want to know your background. So, what you have done in terms of the academics and everything?
I did my engineering bachelor's in India and master's in US.
Okay, so masters
Uh,
in which subject?
Master's in one of the computer specialization actually.
Okay, so in terms of the finance, how you can rate yourself?
Finance, I understand a bit, but I'm not. I can't say that I'm a fully functional guy, but I understand quite well because I'm working in um, I mean techno-functional domain for so long. Actually, it's more than 10 years
Okay,
experience I have. So on that note, I have been working in Oracle Business Intelligence and various reporting tools for that matter, but I'm not familiar with anything PBCS.
so from where you have get idea about the Hyperion, like it is working in your company or what?
Yes. The reason why I'm starting to learn is because in the present client where I am working, I usually handle the project actually. So they are looking for a resource for EPBCS. The basic thing is proposal is to get the approval for to create a proof of concept for them actually. They gave me the access, but I don't know how to create that access and kind of thing. I'm playing with that actually right now.
Okay,
So I thought of they gave me, well, I have some OBI reports, but they are planning to move those reports into EPBCS environment. So if I provide the proof of concept and those things, if they get approval, then they might assign me a little bit more work kind of a thing. So that's the reason why I started learning actually.
okay, that's great. So before starting, I was just ask you some questions related to finance.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain me what is asset and what is a liability?
Asset and liability. Asset is the kind, I mean, like where you have, in general, it's kind of a the property owned by someone actually. Regarding it
Okay,
has a value and available to either meet like legacies or the debts or commitment, whatever it is basically.
okay,
Liability is something generally we usually expect that these things to be something like we are responsible for something.
okay,
If we are not, I mean, like it's kind of a if we have purchased some car on a month-to-month EPI basis, it's kind of we are responsible for that. We have to pay every month for that particular thing, but it's not kind of a
okay,
that thing. Most that's my understanding actually.
okay, fine. So have you any idea about what is a balance sheet?
Yes, balance sheet. Balance sheet is something at the end of the year. In generally, we usually do the um, financial position of that particular business, where assets or liabilities. In generally, whatever you are saying, like it shows that what is the particular value within that specific period compared to the previous month, and all of those details which usually we compare for that amount as a you know
Okay,
what is the
so
in that
if I
environment.
if yeah, okay, fine, that's fine. Actually, I'm just taking the brief about your concept. Means from where I had to start because the
Gotcha.
basic application is related to finance only because the operations we are doing by the system is we are preparing the balance sheet, we are preparing the income statement. This you can see in my screen, and the cash flow. Major part of we are doing in this in by the system, the Hyperion. The basic, we can say, the use of the system is like preparing their financials of that any company. So in terms of the balance sheet, if I am asking, so the balance sheet consists what? It consists what is consist? Can you have that idea?
Balance sheet, what it consists? I'm not sure exactly. I mean, like most
Basically,
probably account
you
details with actual sales kind of a thing.
yeah, I'm just
Probably.
giving. So this is you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I'm able to see.
Yeah. So I have written as asset and liability. So when the
Mm-hmm.
balance sheet is preparing, if like every month or every quarter, if the financials are going to be published,
Mm-hmm.
they are preparing their balance sheet. The balance sheet is always consists the assets and the liability.
Okay.
And the asset is suppose it should be like this minus this is always equals to 0.
Okay.
So the balance sheet is tallied. If it's not equal to 0, then we need to check why your asset is not matching with your liability. And every time when you're sending the data to the any management or any person, your balance sheet should always be 0. Like it should always be matched.
Gotcha.
So basically for this we need the chart of accounts.
Mhm. Okay.
Just a second. Suppose if I'm going to connect from system, I'm seeing, I'm just trying to see you how the accounts are there. Have you seen the chart of account of any company like your company?
Chart of accounts. I have seen the list with account and sales, that kind of a details actually in some documents.
Okay. So in which branch you have done the engineering in computers or IT?
I have done my engineering in IT itself.
Okay, from India.
Yeah, from India. Yeah,
From which university?
which Nagpur University.
Okay, Nagpur. And when did you pass the engineering?
Passed my engineering in the year 2004.
Okay, long back.
Oh yeah, long back. Yeah, obvious.
Huh. And you have after that engineering you have done MS or you have taken some experience here or not?
And after that, immediately I moved to US and I did my masters actually. Then I started work.
Okay, that sounds great. So since that you are in US only.
That's right. Yeah.
You need to little bit aware about your accounting concept. I can
Okay.
provide you some documents.
Okay.
So try to understand. Means like the basic finance idea we should have because I'm also
Right.
from the engineering background.
Gotcha.
But being into the system, being into the architecture of the system, we are just means like we have to switch our own core branch to the finance. Because basically the everything, every working like if you're working in any corporate sector or you're working in a EPM tools, then
Mm-hmm.
basically you have to be understand the finance.
Gotcha.
Like this is the our chart of account I have written as a balance sheet.
Okay.
So this is like the the parent member. You know about child and parent concept, or I
Oh
have to
yes,
explain
yes.
that.
Within that group, subgroup kind of a thing. So whatever it is
So
related.
yeah,
That's
so you can see that.
Mhm.
Balance sheet is consisted of asset and liability.
That's right. Yeah.
And then asset, we have many groups like the fixed assets and investments. You can say in there. You can see here.
Okay.
Fixed assets and investments. And in fixed asset also, like I can explain you what is a fixed asset. Fixed assets, like which is the company has the fix in their pocket, we can say, in terms of the money if you're talking.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, the CWIP, the capital work in progress, accumulated depreciations, and the gross fixed assets. In gross, they are consisting something the like which is not going to be calculated in the future. So you can see the can see column E.
Mhm.
This is going as an addition because the part of the asset. The like three in gross fixed assets is land, lease load land, factory building,
Yeah, yeah. All those
residential
that comes
building,
under.
yeah, temporary
Okay.
constructions, other
Mhm.
buildings. So all is like addition is there, correct? The asset part is adding, and when we are
Gotcha.
going to the liability section, it's a subtraction.
Got it.
So it will subtract. Like if I open that liability section, the the parent is it's going like the children is adding, but when it's going to the
Got it.
parent as a liability, it's going
It's
to as a subtraction.
subtracting with.
Asset, yes,
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. So if you can see like in this, um, we can remove this. I can. So you can see as asset and liability. Sorry, yeah. So asset is the addition and liability is the subtraction.
Mhm.
So it will give as a complete balance sheet on zero.
Okay.
In terms of the life example, I'm showing you one balance sheet. These are the already are the dimensions like the
Mhm.
actuals. If you want to check the actuals, we need to size the actual. It basically depend upon the designing. The design concept I will start in second session. First, I just want to
Okay.
give you a brief about the finance. What is the finance and how the system is. We need to think in terms of the designer.
Gotcha. Actual the I mean this column comes under which cube actually? I mean like which entity? Either it's
And
related
it's
to
a scenario. It's
version
a scenario. Actual is a scenario.
scenario. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Actual is a scenario. Jan is a period.
Okay.
MTD is a view.
Month to date, right? Okay.
Yeah, month to date. Correct. Month to date, year to date. We have two views in this application.
Okay.
And something we can say as a financial year.
Mhm.
And the second thing is like entity, and then we can say as a currency,
Okay.
then we can say as a version,
Got it.
and these are something related to their complete business, which is already always a different thing. It cannot be same. The default dimensions are the same, and these are the custom dimension. And this is the account balance sheet.
Okay.
And this is the name of the connection, the name of the application. We are just it's like one add-in which is present in Excel called as a smart view that we have to install in our system.
Okay.
And from there we can connect with that application. This is the cube of that application name MIS.
Okay.
Like see the name of the channel is incorrect, so giving like spelling is incorrect, so it's giving as a white space error. It will not turn as a blue. Whatever the numbers are correct, it's showing as a blue, or else it, see this is the balance sheet. the asset and the liability is matching. So the number is completely going to be zero in that balance sheet. So it means that balance sheet is valid.
Okay.
So now going to the switching to the application. I'm just showing as a scratch application how the application is this. This is a design application. I'm going to remove it. So meanwhile, when you are like you are taking a sessions in that, but try to understand the finance sector also.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is the complete raw application. Which when we are
Okay.
getting that instance from Oracle, we are getting the application like this, and it is like the same screen you will see when you first log into your instance. This is like the finance
Okay.
application we are building mostly in EPM set. Human
Hmm.
capital and sales are the different things. Human capital is a HCM that is used for the human capital management. So that is
Yeah.
something a different thing, but we will focus on the take a quick tour about the finance. You will see as a one video in that, or else we can start as a like what I will just show you. It will show it will direct you to an YouTube
Gotcha.
page. So that video you can see. I will just share you that link. So meanwhile you
Okay.
can take that. We are not going to waste our time in that. We will just going to be like now these are the three part in finance, like planning
Okay.
and budgeting, the financial close, and the tax reporting. That we need
Hmm.
to select for which application we are going to be create this application.
Gotcha.
Correct. So we are going to select as a planning and budgeting because it's a planning and purely planning and budgeting application. If you want to create as a like now it's talking about standard enterprise or reporting. Standard application is something which is enterprise EPBCS. You want to create a sample or a new? That depends upon you. But basically, we
Okay.
are creating as a new application. So we have to click on new. Now we have to give as the application name. So we can give as a test and description as also test demo. Now we have to click as the next. Now the start and end year that we need to select from which year till when it's around 10 years of that cycle, but we can change after that application is creation. So we can select the 17 to 29 or whatever. And what is your first physical month? If you are in a US, it will be a January, but if you are in India, it will be always a April. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can select as a whatever you want. That is like I'm just showing you how we are. There is asking about the main currency. Now, if you are selecting as an April, it's showing as a physical year start date, same calendar year, previous calendar year. So that is something like it's something a lot of common questions in terms of the what the nature of the business is there. So they're asking about the main currency, in which currency your application is going to be there. So it should be in US for you. It should be something else for another. That basically depends upon entity by entity or country by country. Is there application is a multi-currency? Then you have to select on multi-currency. If it's not, then we can say the no. We can say the yes. That basically depend upon us how the Weekly distribution is like in which week contribution, like it's suppose we have around 52 weeks, correct, in a year.
Mhm. That's right.
So the first, it's in like first quarter there will be 4 4 4. First 2 quarter it will be like the for first 4 months it's a 4 4 5. So around we can say the weekly distribution it should be 4 5 5 5 4 4 4. It basically not giving the much impact on their application, but it's basically about the how the weekly, how the weeks are going to be distributed in terms of that. Then again we have to go to the next. I have selected the event distribution because we are creating as a demo application. So
Okay.
now you will share the like the default dimensions you will see here, and the custom dimensions we can create. Like see, the time your period is dimension name is a period that is fixed from January because you have selected as a January your first month, so it's starting from January.
Okay.
If you select as April, then it will start from April.
Yep. 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 Got it.
And number of record you can see is a 12.
12.
12 months are considered here.
Mhm.
Now year is for 17.
Mhm.
One is there. Scenario, in versions, entity. Now if you want to add custom dimension, you have to click there. Add custom
Got it.
dimensions. If you want to change the name of the entity, you can change that. If you want to
Okay.
select something like the units, you can say, or you can say as a branch, or you
Okay.
can say as a company. That is something you can change.
Got it. Okay.
But these six are the custom dimension, sorry, the standard dimensions,
Okay.
and we can add the custom dimensions as per the business requirement.
Okay. Got it.
And then we have to select as a next. If you have something chart of account or something, we can load in that metadata file. The browse option is there. You can go, you can load that the chart of account file. So directly that account, the hierarchy of that account will also created in the system.
Mm.
So now this is the complete overview review.
Okay.
It's the application name as a test demo. Start year is 13 years. We have from 17 to 9 2029 we have taken 13 years. First month is a January. Event distribution is there. Multi currency is no. The currency is USD. So now we need to create as a create application. So the application will create. So this is something the creation of an application. This is the first step of an any application designing.
Got it.
And you have seen that the most of the things are related to finance. This is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
something a technical work.
That's right. Yeah.
So we should be clear. Means like that's why I'm just focusing on means like giving a push to the finance because the finance is
Yeah.
the backbone of that
Well, up
the
to this part,
complete
I'm
EPM.
very easy to understand. It's I don't find complex.
So like the application is created successfully. Now we can go and explore the more about the application. So this is our application. We can say you can see as the name of one test. The name of the application is there.
That's
So these are the dimensions. The dimension which we have created. If we want to add something, we can add in there. You can see like you can select from there. We have only six, so it's only created six. We have not added customs, so the
okay.
customs are not showing here. So if you can say an account, you will not find any hierarchy. So if you want to add something, there is an option as a add child.
Okay.
You go to this option, account in that child. Suppose you have written as a balance sheet, correct? And and the alias should be also a balance. It should not same as the name of the alias. So we can say as a BS,
Okay.
or we can say as a whatever the financials, correct? It should be always a asset liability. Balance sheet is always asset liability account. So it should be a non-expense. And time balance. Time balance is something the major property is playing in that application. Time balance is what? If you are selecting as a balance, correct?
Yeah.
So it will giving you the aggregated value of that,
Gotcha. Okay.
correct? So like in balance, it will give you as a third, like if in a quarter, like January, we have a January, February, and March. And
Okay.
if
It's
you
combines
selected,
the all three months and give you the value. That's
sorry,
it combines the all 3 months and give you the as the balance.
no, in a balance, it will give as a March value, like the YTD value. It will consider as a
Okay.
YTD number
Gotcha.
of that.
Mm,
If you're selecting as a flow, it will give you as an aggregated value of that.
got it.
So, but if you're selecting as a balance, balance is what we can say by the word. What is a balance? Balance is something the last number, which is going
Okay.
to be the
Balance
balance of
something.
an
I
application.
mean, like
Yes,
you can
correct,
compare like
correct,
month to date and year to date also, right? It's
correct. Yeah,
quarter.
the
Okay.
balance is always year to date. We can say
Okay.
the first is going to give you the first number of that month. Like if you are selecting
Gotcha.
as a month, January, and so that number will come as a first as a January number on a quarter.
Got it.
It basically depends upon the quarter, how the designing of the quarter is there.
Mm.
So this is the source plan, like the plan one of the test we have created as a two. So whatever the we are source cube we can select, as the plan one. The data storage is like what? Data storage is something if you are going to store a data in something.
Mhm.
Like balance sheet is not we are not going to punch anything on a balance sheet. Correct. It's
Okay.
a parent member and we cannot we cannot directly punch any number to the balance sheet. Logically we cannot do. It should be always a rolling coaster from bottom to top.
Okay.
So we can select as a never share because it will not share the numbers. It will just keep the number with them like from balance sheet only.
So,
And this is something the addition and subtraction which I was talking about.
okay.
Yeah. So from there we can select like what it should be an addition, it should be an subtraction, whatever it is. So
Mm.
from where we can select that.
Okay.
So this is the complete data type should be a currency or the percentage or the date or text. It will basically depend upon the numbers, like what kind of the accounts you are creating.
Gotcha.
So this is something the property of that account. There is a store. If we are creating something like a base members,
Mhm.
then at that time we are putting as a store because we are going to punch that number on that account. So store
Okay.
means it will is a placeholder. It will act as a placeholder in where you can directly put the numbers. You can directly punch the number manually also, or from the system or from some file also. You can directly punch the value in that. So if it's a base level, the best practice of an designing an application is that if it's a base member, it should be a store. If it's the parent, we can keep as a never share.
Mhm.
And this is something never. This is shared member. Like we can say, I have one chart of account
Okay.
for one entity. Suppose I'm giving an example. Like I have one chart of account for one company. I have different chart of account for the different company. But there are some chart of account which are same, and the complete exact value is coming from that system.
Okay. I mean,
Suppose you have,
which
yeah,
are common between the both of them. That's
correct,
what you're
correct,
trying to say.
correct. So that member we can create one that member. Like suppose we have created as a sales,
Okay. Mhm.
but sales is the same for the different organization also.
Okay.
Sales should not be changed. The number is also same. So we can share that complete account in that so that it will not create any space, and it will directly share that number into the sales.
Okay.
So that we are using by the shared. And there is a dynamic calc. Dynamic calc is something like we can directly write a formula for that.
Got it.
It's a something
Customized
which is
calculation.
instant. Sorry,
Customized calculation thing.
customized calculation we can say, and it will not depend. It's not depend upon any rules or something. It will directly aggregate or it will directly operate as per the instruction given in the member formula.
Okay.
So these are the complete the application design. The one thing I'm just going to the technical things now.
Okay.
So just a second. You have time or you have any
Oh,
time
yeah, yeah.
constraint?
I have time. I don't have any time constraint. That's
No, if you have something time constraints, you can tell, because if you're going in a flow, if you
fine.
have started something, we are not seeing the timing or everything. So if you have some plan, you can interrupt me. You can tell me that you have a plan, because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
session
no
by
problem.
session here we are going to be explain you about the system. So it's okay.
No problem.
So directly customized formula we have to return as a like, it's always working as in a inverted commas. If you are creating something,
Mhm.
if account or something, so there is an entity company we have written as a company, so it's showing you as a company. You can see that here.
Mhm.
You can add in the multiple companies you have as per the business. As a child, you can directly add base currency. You have to select first. We have only one currency, so it's only showing as a one. If you have multiple currency, it will show it as a base currency as per the entity.
Okay.
You need to select from here. And this is something a multi-dimensional database. You might be heard about sequential
Yes,
database.
I heard about the multi-dimensional database. Cubes.
So the database of this is S-base.
Yeah.
So S-base is basically depend upon dense and sparse calculation. So what is a dense? You can see in an application. Dense is something which we can say the numbers or the data will come in every possible combinations.
Got it.
Suppose we are saying as a dense is account and period. You can imagine without account or without period, is there anything possible that number can come?
Good number. No.
We can say like, I'm giving an example. Suppose in 1 year it's a possible that the business is going to become in 1 year or not. But we can say the complete period, like from January to December, it is not possible that the
That's
account
right.
number is always a zero. If you have created in a system, that is something illogical, that you
That's
have
right.
created an account which is not going to be appear from the complete 12 months.
Mhm.
It's fine that if you are, it's not coming in a financial year one, like financial years in January month, but it's coming in a February.
Yeah.
So basically the sparse and dense are the complete combinations in the numbers of the data is coming. But for this also the Oracle has designed some basic practice and the guideline. Like we can say the multiple like dense and sparse, but the ideal practice is what we are doing is, and we are keeping as a two dimensions dense, that is account and the period. And the calculation and the basic reason behind that, now I'm going to about the explain about the how the database structure is there. So suppose here we have as a 18 period, correct,
Mhm.
in dense, and account is a zero showing. So the
Okay.
number of the size of the block, every block of the database is what? Dense number of one dense member into number of dense two member into 8, because it's a one bit byte concept. A one bit is equals to 8 bytes. So with respect to that, we can say as a 18. We have only two dense dimension. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have only two dense dimension. So the block size of the database is basically depend upon the number of blocks or the block size. We can think what should be the one block size of an application. If you are creating some application, you have some created a database. So what should be the block size? So the block size is something dense into dense, number of one dense member into number of dense two member into 8. So it will give as an number of like the block size, and the number of how many blocks are created. It's basically depend upon the sparse members calculation, like sparse
Got
1, sparse 2, sparse 3, and sparse 4. That the completion of like 13 into 6 into 4 into 0. 0 we are not calculating because 0 is not possible. We have to give some members. There should be a member. Then that
That's right.
company code should be there, correct? So it
That's
cannot be like a 0 because if we are not created, it's showing as a 0. So it will multiply the 13 into 6 into 4.
right.
So whatever the result coming, that number of blocks is present in your database.
Okay.
And what is the size of the database? 8 KB, 18
Right.
KB, sorry,
Right.
18 into 8, 18 into 8 because the conceptual or bit and byte. So it's a 18 into 8 of the size
Okay.
of the. Because one byte is always a 8 bit. You can know
That's
that.
right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know that.
So that's the reason for getting anything on a byte, we are multiplying it that with 8 because it's a
Okay.
bit calculation
Okay.
and we want into that. So we are just. So this is basically how the application design is going to be there,
Okay.
and how we're taking care of the dimensions, because if an application or the company is small and the nature of account is not that much, so the size is not going to be create any much difference. But when the company has a multiple hierarchy and the diversity in hierarchy also there, so at that time we need to very careful of creating an application so that it can give you the maximum result on less time. Because if we are creating the size of the database, it's like if we're exceeding the size of the database or the number of the blocks in there, so it will get takes time to fetch the data from the system.
Okay.
So basically the, like if you're going to be take as a like small database or something, the less number of blocks, then the system will easily give you data on short time. We can load the list of if you have want to load the dimensions, like the metadata. You have
So
heard about the metadata.
yes, I know metadata. Yeah. Now
So from
I remember
dimensions you can,
related to other reporting actually.
correct, yes. So you can go and you can directly import, export whatever you want. You can directly import, export.
Import and export to where? I mean, like to the.
For that you have to create one file,
Mm,
and that file, if you want to import, you can import. And if something data is there, you can export also. And if you want
oh,
to export, it will give you as like blank, but with the placeholder, like with the headers. I'm just showing you. You can show as an export. I have clicked. Like you have clicked as an account,
mm,
and you have to just click on export. So one file, one zip file is coming. This we are going to save it. we want to create something, like we want to create as an account one, or we can say which example I have given you, balance sheet. The parent will be account, alias is BS, and data storage will be never share. Correct.
Okay.
And this is something like not required first time when we are creating an application, but assets, and it should be as a balance sheet. The parent will be a balance sheet. Correct. In the asset and liability.
That means
Liability.
that means like if we have any CSV file, we can import
Correct. 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 Yes.
it. We can do that, and we can do our customizations.
Yep, exactly. CSV. Yes. Now we can save as a file that, and we can go into the application. We can close it, and we can directly import. We can go and directly import CSV file if we have. That we directly going to and import it. You can ask me something if you have any doubts. You can directly ask.
Yeah, I'm trying to grasp as much as possible. At the
No,
same time, yeah, I'm looking into my one of the application related proof of concept designing, that report thing. I'm looking. Well, I'm just trying to figure out. I don't have any idea. So,
no, that's fine. That's fine. Want any help? I can help you in that also. Like I have imported that, so that's the reason I'm not going to be so hurry in that, because
okay,
the main objective is just to understand the application.
gotcha. Yeah, that's fine.
So like imported material is showing as a completed. So now we are going to the dimensions and show you how the application is there. It's like the members is created there. See, balance sheet,
Mm.
and if you can open as a balance sheet, then asset and liability.
Okay.
Correct. So that thing is also possible. If you have bulk of accounts, you can directly upload the chart of accounts in there, and the complete solution is a complete application is going to be ready. You can directly upload the your EB's chart of account also. If you want the same chart of account, you can directly upload your SAP chart of account. That's completely fine.
Okay.
And if you want to something specific as per your requirements, that thing also custom things is also possible. So today we have completed the designing of an application and the some finance overview.
Okay.
So now you have anything to ask?
Yes. Do you have any, proof of concept designing document for a report creation? I mean, like, I
Actually,
would.
we have, but something in terms of the confidentiality, because depend upon the client.
Oh
So
yeah,
that is
that's right.
something.
Well,
Yeah,
well, I don't want any of your company related logos or anything. I don't want. I just want, the basic how to, I would like to create my own thing actually. So the main
correct.
reason I would
I
like to
can help
use
you in
my.
that. I can help you in that. If you want any suggestions, you can call me anytime. That's not an issue.
I mean, I'm looking for one sample document actually. So according to that, I can create my own. For
We
that's
can create from the like sessions also, like we are going to be design and everything. We can take a screenshot in that, and we can make a document, because it basically depends upon, you also understand the confidentiality is always a matter.
that's right. Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. That's
And the proof of concept is always depend upon the nature of the business. So if
yeah.
I'm like it's also not possible,
Proof
like
of concept
I'm
here is just kind of a simple report creation actually. Okay, it's not like.
yeah, report creation, I will just give you one short example next session, because
Okay.
you are more focused I think on reporting.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like my need is immediate because I have to provide them with something kind of like how we can do that kind of a thing, how they can use their own products. So they haven't started using actually. So that's why I'm started learning.
Okay, fine. So you do one thing. You in next session on tomorrow. At what time you
So,
are free? So we can plan accordingly now only.
mm, tomorrow morning, same time, around your time,
Yeah,
7 means my time,
yeah.
my
It will
night,
it will be fine.
8:30.
It will be fine. 7 to 8 we can keep it. No issue.
Okay, sure. Okay.
So in tomorrow, what you do? You just show me what is your requirement,
Okay, yeah, 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 sure. Okay,
and in terms of
I'll show my screen and everything. Yeah. Well,
correct.
if you want, I can send my sample screen of the. I have a OBA report. I'm trying to recreate the whole thing in this thing actually. I mean, our
PBCS.
EPCS. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
What it has is account with entity name and previous quarter and percentage of net sales and current quarter and
Okay.
variance details. Actually, this is the simple. I mean, like it's not much.
Variance is in terms of the actual and budget.
Yes, yeah, actuals related comparison, previous quarter to current quarter.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
that is
means the
okay.
scenario is like only one scenario you have as actual.
Yes, the one scenario we have actually.
Okay, we can work around on that. That's not an issue. I can solve you that. Just
Okay,
share me or something tomorrow. But whenever you want, you can share that thing
okay, sure.
so that we can take your requirements and we can build the system as per you want. And then later on we
That's
can start with that. That's not an issue.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I can work on whenever I get my time. And, so yeah,
Sure, 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 sure.
help
If you have
that.
any doubt, you have my number. You can call me. You can text me. That's not an issue. That's
Yep.
completely fine.
Yeah, help me in this part basically. I mean, like that's the main for me training. I can take any time, but for them it's kind of they are working on some financial reporting. So I'm working as a reporting guy, but I am not familiar with this one. They
No,
told
no,
me to
that's
learn
that's
this
not
thing
an issue.
actually. So
That's
that's
not that. I understand that. You have my contact. You have
okay.
my
Sure.
contact number. You have my WhatsApp number. So
Okay.
whenever you have any issue, you can directly ping or you can call. That's completely fine. Means I'm pretty much open for that. I'm just telling you upfront.
Okay. Sure. So
You
sounds great.
you can text me whatever your doubts and everything, because the
Yeah.
main objective is just to take the control of an application to you. It's like if you are come here and learning something, then it should be like a useful.
Well, for me, this is basically kind of if I provide them with this proof of concept is successful and everything, they're gonna send me some more work and they might recruit someone from the India if possible. So there are lots of possibilities actually. So
Correct, correct. Yes.
that's what helpful for me. Okay,
Sure, sure, sure. We'll do it. We'll do in that way also. That's not an issue. So you can share me your requirement,
okay, sure, yeah,
and then we will think how we can work in that, and how we can use your proof of concept for that, and then we can surely do something good for you.
okay, sure, sounds good. Thank you, Vikas. Yeah, nice.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
And
you.
yeah, tomorrow same time at
Yeah,
7
sure.
your
Seven
time.
to eight.
Okay, I'm gonna connect. Okay,
7 to 8. Sure,
sounds
sure.
good.